The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. Well, after months and months of speculation that Mary Jane was going to die, including by me, by the way, they were teasing it heavily. Although, in fairness, as many of you pointed out, and I pointed out, it felt like bait. And it certainly has been a decent amount of bait. There is now the spoiler that Amazing Spider-Man number 26 is going to kill off Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. And the fascinating part of all this, which I hope people can appreciate, is that, basically, this was spoiled by Entertainment Weekly in the headline, which basically said, that Miss Marvel is being killed in Amazing Spider-Man number 26. And this is going to be a big moment where, the character, who's been a friend of Peter, Peter didn't necessarily know that Kamala Khan was Miss Marvel, but she's going to basically sacrifice herself and die in this book. And then we're getting a death of the fallen friend, the death of Miss Marvel, written by G. Willow Wilson, Saladin Ahmed, and Mark Waid, which will be coming out. And this has been a big deal. So Marvel pulled a big fast one on people by hinting that it's Mary Jane, but actually it's Miss Marvel. And several other people pointed out, well, hang on a second. This comic written by Zeb Wells, who's also writing The Marvels, which features Miss Marvel out in November. It seems like a weird choice that, Marvel is basically killing off Miss Marvel, right before the big movie. And to this, I'd point out that in August, Marvel has a Classified series, or a 4-issue miniseries called Classified, starting in August, that sure as hell looks like it's kind of a link between the X-Men books and the superhero books. And, I at this point, I probably should point out that Miss Marvel could easily be resurrected, no problem, barely an inconvenience. By the Krakoa protocols, which, were expanded during the AXE storyline to include humans as well. In the comics, Miss Marvel is a Inhuman. In the movies, Miss Marvel is maybe a mutant. And, there's, anyway. Look, I think, absolutely, Miss Marvel is, Kamala Khan is getting revived relatively quickly. But anyway. And so this goes to kind of the other thing we were talking about, the entire, bait and switch, and the problem with Krakoa and the resurrection, all the rest of this stuff is really no character gets to die at this point in the Marvel Universe. If a character dies, then the question becomes, why are the characters suddenly stupid? Why the characters not resurrect people? And for that matter, by the way, if it's a really critical character in Marvel history, let's say Captain Marvel Carol Danvers dies, and she's a critical character in Marvel's mythology, and let's say that somehow Orcus destroys the Krakoa protocols and people can't be resurrected anymore. Well, we also know that there are plenty of time travel abilities in the Marvel Universe, plenty of them. And so there's no reason why you can't just hop on Dr. Doom's little platform time travel device, go back in time, waltz, Carol Danvers in, if she's critical to the Marvel Universe, resurrect her, and then go back to the future, and voila, well, it's all solved. So death is out the window. There is no death at this point. But Miss Marvel dies in Amazing Spider-Man, and Dan Slott went out of his way to post a little tweet saying, hey, when the book isn't on sale, it's pretty lousy to spoil it. Yeah, you take your beef up with Entertainment Weekly. That's who spoiled it. I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, the humor that I hope everybody can see is that for several years now, we've heard about how toxic fandom just cannot handle anything. Comics change, they adapt. Death threats against writers are never okay. And yet, relatively quickly, we started getting tweets with people saying they're going to go kill Zeb Wells. Not, by the way, people with all of the right kind of pronouns and flags in their bio and everything else. People who, one guy who his pinned tweet is "fuck Comicsgate, toxic fandom, man babies." Posts basically a tweet saying, "I want to murder Zeb Wells. Let's go kill him for sport. I am being serious," and gave no indication that it was a joke. So anyway, you can go on Twitter right now. There's a lot of people losing their minds and around Kamala Khan and this action, and Marvel doesn't deserve any of your money, and fuck Marvel forever. I'm gonna pirate comics and everything else. And I think the irony, or the thing you should sit back with popcorn and enjoy a little bit, is that this is the same group that absolutely told everybody to go fuck themselves, and they were being toxic fans with things like Iceman being gay, or the Punisher getting a weird dragon logo on his chest, or any number of things that are everybody should just shut up and take, and who are now saying, "How dare you kill this character? I would like to murder the writer of this," even though, for what it's worth, even though the character clearly isn't going to stay dead, won't stay dead. There's no earthly reason in the Marvel Universe for the character to stay dead, and nothing inherently matters. Because, look, the Hellfire Gala is a couple weeks away. We saw the Sins of Sinister event end with a major plot development for the biggest characters in the X-Men universe. You saw that major plot development undone by the same writer 1 week later. Why in the shit do you think that the Kamala Khan death has any lasting meaning at all? If you are a comic fan who professes to love the current state of comics, you already know that there's no storyline reason for this death to matter at all, and it won't. So just forget about it. I mean, honestly, just let it go. There's no reason for you to hold on to this. And already we're getting allegations. People haven't even read the comic yet. It's like, here's another woman. This time a woman of color, fridged for a white savior. It's like, what the holy fuck are you talking about? Look, here's the dirty secret. If you're a Kamala Khan fan and part of Marvel, that character has not had any comic book developments for a while. The regular series ended a long time ago, by comic terms, quite a while ago. The G. Willow Wilson run is way in the rearview mirror. The Saladin Ahmed run pretty much got no attention and poor sales. Poor sales. So, I mean, look, this is, it's no surprise. What is Marvel doing? They're doing the thing that they've done many, many times before. They're coming up with some storyline reason why she's alive. And, by resurrect her, whatever it happens to be. Maybe there'll be some weird-ass retcon where they make her a mutant for no fucking reason whatsoever, and fine. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the way you sell copies. But honestly, this is, whether you like Kamala Khan's character or not, it bears mentioning that the character was once mildly popular, actually, generated a fan base, and the way that character generated a fan base was G. Willow Wilson's initial solo series, where the character was kind of this new, quite reminiscent of the original Spider-Man series, way, way back in the day by Ditko and Lee. And that the people liked that. It was charming. It was different. The absolute dumbest ass thing you can do, which Marvel has shown with Khan herself, is you put her in the Avengers, you start, messing around and stray from that original premise, and people dislike it. It's not nearly as interesting. So, if you really want the sales to go up and you want the fans who loved Kamala Khan and fell in love with the character and like her to come back, well, again, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Just go back to telling the stories you did at the beginning. Maybe it could be new stories, different stories, but people like charming Kamala Khan. They don't, if the goal here is to go through an elaborate death, a weird resurrection, give her a tie to Krakoa, hell, make her a mutant, all that shit is poison to people latching on and liking the character. It doesn't help. So, it is what it is. But anyway, that's the big spoiler. I am absolutely laughing my ass off the people, the exact opposite people. You can't say this is super horrible, CG people this time who are threatening writers saying, ugly shit. You can't say it because the people who are doing this clearly are not those people. Again, have left the information up in their bios. So maybe it turns out that when somebody doesn't get what they want and they're a emotional crybaby, this is how they behave. And it's not really tied to a political party or anything else. It's just tied to people being dicks, because that seems to be what they are. Anyway, place your bets. How many weeks before she's brought back to life? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for listening.